I be in and out, so leave that thing running. Purified is preferred. Higher frequency, a higher verb. I observe on a different nerve. Breaking codes, I am the yoga. Deadly as a Ruger, straight and a shooter. Out the holster with this mudra. Inoculation with the wisdom. Creator shape my prism and hit them with no schisms. Perfect. Reason turn the light up. Y'all disappointing like 9 to 5 and some write-ups. Something rearranged, let that boy cook. Organization 33, stay up in them books. Lead them boys shook. 46 divided, yeah, I'm Port Michael. It was only rifle that I came up in this cycle. They say they gangsters, but they telling it. Step outside, take off my shoes and let the sun hit my melon. Had to relearn that the herb beat the medicine. It's the same matrix, so who you think you better than? Perfect.
Creator gang is undefeated. Creator gang is undefeated. Know that. They not like us. Separate the real from the fake is a must. We stand on Creator and know God we trust. Team Kemet got crushed into powder and dust. Woo! Kemet looking bad now. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many men down? Look at us all running, ducking, trying to skip town. Now power one it in. You Hebrew, what you Kemet now? Siding with the people that enslaved your own people now? Chop you up into pieces and throw you in the river now. Reggie right beside you, get ate by comedic crocodile. Look, we got them running, covering square miles. Scared to death, what's left only to take the crown. Get smashed down on your own stomping ground. We took over like the Hicks on your turf doing a disco. 2-stepping, no half-stepping with the info. You wouldn't even know the book of the dead, bro, if it wasn't for the translation done by my sparrow. Your time's narrow, semi-missiles blow out your arch arrows. Arches down, so goes the pharaoh. I saw him reading the glyphs like he an expert, but where he learned that from? This about to hurt. First translation came from Samuel Birch. European Egyptology gave you it first. You couldn't translate a bird to a word without looking up them European definition verbs. Y'all niggas acting like y'all blackity black, frontin' to the people, man, y'all niggas actually whack. Your pathetic comedic creation meant there's a trap. The blind leading the blind with no actual facts. Jabario Saze, you softer than Sade. Come to find out he followed Yahweh. That was your execution, you par Rosicrucian. Western thought you using, you are quite confusing. Don't know what you doing, how my eye got you moving. Right now you are losing, at your wake I'm viewing. R.I.P. communion, mummy wrapped in ruin. OSP is ruling, science has been proven. All motion moving, you live in an illusion. Who you think you fooling, think you need some schooling. It's like Reggie out here living in a ghost town, walking around like I see dead people around. I don't believe in spirits, but I believe them now. Stuttering Stanley, you can have a seat now.
Stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley, stuttering Stanley. Shut up, you freak.
Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Creator gang is undefeated. Creator gang is undefeated. And it's gonna remain that way. And it's gonna remain that way.
Alright, question for Ease. Would you kill your child, your son, if your God told you to?
You said if the Most High told me to?
Yeah.
Or man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is. Yeah, man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is.
Yeah, man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is.
A 22-year-old woman told hotel workers in Holmes County that she had been directed by God. To go on a shooting spree about the solar eclipse, and that not long after she left the hotel in a purple Dodge Challenger driving to the interstate, traveling west, shooting into 2 cars. One of the drivers was shot in the neck, the other grazed in his arm.
If your God came to you right now, tonight, in pomp and glory, shining, and he commanded the death of your child, would you sacrifice your child?
If the Most High is going to do it, of course. If the Most High is going to do it, of course.
If the Most High is going to do it, of course.
Peter Lucas Moses refers to himself as a radical religious person who is with the Black Hebrews. And he just pleaded guilty to killing a 4-year-old and a woman that he was living with. He killed the 4-year-old because he thought he was gay.
Moses believed 4-year-old Higginbotham was homosexual. Klein says Moses took Higginbotham to the garage, played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, and shot him. Played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and shot him. Played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and shot him.
If God came to you and told you to sacrifice your kid, would you sacrifice your kid?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
God is called a terrible, demon-like power. God is called a terrible, demon-like power. God is called a terrible, demon-like power. So Napa means empty, you could say, or open. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible.
According to the criminal complaint, Polite told investigators God told him to shoot Pastor Germany. God told him to shoot Pastor Germany.
God told him to shoot Pastor Germany.
And he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind.
Would you kill your child or your grandchild if God told you to?
Oh, man.
So that's a yes?
Yeah, it's a yes. It's a yes.
It's a yes.
But I think that it would be a test. I don't think the Lord would actually tell you to do it. I think it would just be a test because we can see.
You'd be willing to go through with it?
I'll go through any trial the Lord puts me through.
Leader Yahweh Ben-Yahweh, the self-proclaimed Son of God, one day in 1981, her North Dade home became a house of death. Banks and her husband, Carlton Carey, had just returned from talking with police about another Yahweh member who had been decapitated. Today, Yahweh Ben Yahweh is charged in her attempted murder and the death of her husband. October 1986, Yahweh's take over an Opalaka apartment building. 2 residents who were ordered to leave publicly complained. That night, both were shot to death.
Wow! Judah, do you hear me? If the Most High Yahweh tells you to kill your family, would you do it? Yes or no?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes.
Oh, Judah, no.
Damn.
Judah didn't mean that, y'all.
If the Most High say, put your family down, would you do it for the Most High?
By faith, yes. By faith, yes.
By faith, yes.
But he's going to tell me not to do it, just like he did Abraham. We have a story like that already. Next.
The moral law is that if a child was to be rebellious, towards their parents, they was to be taken down and stoned to death because of that. You see what I'm saying?
Would you do that? Would you do that if your God came back to you today in glory and said, I want you to stone your son if he get rebellious? Would you? Would you do it?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would.
Wow.
The Most High was to come to you and ask you to off your loved ones. Would you do it, brother?
If I had made the mistake, if I didn't have ancestors inside of me and I made the mistake to make babies with outside nations, and then I heard the download from my ancestors saying that you need to put them away, yes, I will put them away. Yes, I will put them away.
Yes, I will put them away.
Okay, Judah Nazareth, if the Most High come to you and say, I want you to put down your family, I have a better movement for you that I need you to do. Would you do it?
They're out of here. They're out of here.
They're out of here.
Wow.
Create a gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit.
That is the source of our strength. We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
That's right. Right back at it like I left something. It's your hostess with the mostest. On fire, holding that like a roach clip. Yeah, hey, listen. Happy holidays to y'all. You dig what I'm talking about? It's a lot of things that's going on in the world right now. And around these times, many people get depressed. They're missing family. People who were here just a couple years ago are no longer with us. You know what I mean? And when you get to reflecting on some of the good times you may have had, and you get to missing those people, and holidays can become real heavy times for certain people. You dig what I'm saying? And then on top of that, we got different religious ideologies and things that's being impressed upon people. You dig what I'm saying? Like certain people, you shouldn't practice Christmas, and you should do this, and what you shouldn't do, and how you should observe certain things, and how you shouldn't observe other things. You dig what I'm saying? And yet there's so many more things going on in the world that most people don't know about. Today, or actually last night, Christmas Eve, the Vatican opened up 5 portals in throughout Rome, 4 inner doors or inner places within the Vatican itself, and also one in a jail, a prison. Obviously, it has spiritual implications behind it. You dig what I'm saying? Which seems like purification, but also it comes on an Odic year. Well, it falls in the Odic year, but also a Jubilee year. So, and this isn't actually the actual 50th Jubilee year. This is the 25th halfway point, 25th year, halfway point. And so, we would see this as, for instance, in the Bible, they say a time and a half time. We would see, using the biblical count, using that 50-year Jubilee count, a Jubilee would be a time and a half time would be the 25-year count. So we would be in that halftime count right now. So if there are spiritual implications that are setting something free, or purification, or some type of understanding leading towards that ideology is going on, well, then it begs to ask the question, what happens in 25 more years on the Jubilee itself? Let me see if I got a little something there, just a little something. I wanted to get into the real meaning behind the holidays itself, right? The so-called Christmas. You know what I mean? But I want to just bring a little something on this.
Yeah, this is looking good. Let's keep building the music. And no, this is supposed to be
with the Vatican. Those who may have not seen this, this went on yesterday. I'll blow it up for you so you can see it. This went on yesterday at a midnight mass. Interesting, mass means moon day. So we can just get into some of this stuff that's going on. Notice that it aligns with the winter solstice, or the day that the sun, after staying on the horizon for 3 straight days, rises 1 degree. You dig what I'm talking about? On that night they opened the doors. That was last night. So this is what you're seeing. the physical, this is the physical representation of a spiritual ritual or ceremony. I want y'all to pay close attention. I'm gonna back out, but I want y'all to pay close attention to how he looks when he opens the door. Now, this is the Pope. Watch how he start. He make a little weird little face, like, you know what I mean, like he seen something or something. You dig what I'm saying? Just just pay close attention to what's going on, y'all. Let me show this real quick.
This is how the Jubilee of 2025 was inaugurated, with Pope Francis opening the Holy Door in a wheelchair.
Fair use, fair use.
With the bells ringing in the background of the basilica, Pope Francis became the first pilgrim of this holy year. It was a moment of great expectation, since it was expected that the Pope would open the door standing, as he did in 2015. The 88-year-old Pope had a cold days before, but that did not prevent him from being present at this midnight Mass, despite the low temperatures in Rome. He gave a homily of about 10 minutes at this celebration, which welcomes Christmas.
Con l'apertura della Porta Santa abbiamo dato inizio a un nuovo giubileo. Ciascuno di noi può entrare nel mistero di questo annuncio di grazia. Questa è la notte in cui la porta della speranza si è spalancata sul mondo. Questa è la notte in cui Dio dice a ciascuno: c'è speranza anche per te.
Pope Francis did not forget the conflicts throughout the planet during this very important Mass. Rome. He gave a homily of about 10 minutes at this celebration, which welcomes Christmas.
Con l'apertura della Porta Santa abbiamo dato.
With the opening of the holy door, we begin a new jubilee. If he thinks this is the 50-year jubilee count, he don't understand that we're 24 years off from your quote unquote halftime or jubilee, or what we understand over here as a harvest season. The thing that he's expecting to happen today will happen 24 years from now, right on the 200-year count of the Cosmon era, 2048, 2047, 2048. It's no mystery. You dig what I'm saying? What they expecting to happen doesn't happen for 24 more years. How you know, Cosmon? Because I can count. We in the 176th year of the Cosmon era, or 2024. If a time or a halftime is a jubilee, four jubilees is a halftime. You dig what I'm saying? A halftime is a harvest. So with that understanding, could we be in a time where the people, our ancestors who have passed away, those who have risen to a higher level of understanding and knowledge, are now being moved to higher levels of understanding and now being able to go off into the Etherian heavens? I believe they're off 25 years. Right? Not that it doesn't happen, but what they expecting to happen, their revelation is off. He said he thinks this is the beginning of a new jubilee. This is actually the 25-year count. A half one for them.
Inizio a un nuovo giubileo. Ciascuno di noi può entrare nel mistero di questo.
Each of us can enter into the mystery of this announcement of grace.
Annuncio di grazia. Questa è la notte.
On this night, the door of hope has been thrown wide open to the world. Notice the words are very vague. Oh, the door of hope. What door of hope? Hope has a door? Does it have a house that it sit in? So obviously he's talking above people's head and he's putting a spiritual connotation on a thing. We're watching a ritual and a ceremony. This is a ceremony, right? Where the door of hope has been opened and thrown wide open to the world, huh? To, I guess, allow light back to the planet.
In cui la porta della speranza si è spalancata sul mondo. Questa è la notte in cui Dio dice:
On this night, God, who God says to each one,
ciascuno, c'è speranza.
There is hope for you too. Huh? On its basis, a good message.
Anche per te.
Pope Francis did not forget the conflicts throughout the planet during this very important Mass.
Questa è l'indicazione per.
This is a signal to rediscover lost hope. He says this is a signal opening up these 5 portals. Hold on 1 second, baby. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me, y'all. Father's business is never done. Shout out to everybody for coming in real quick and get some shout outs real quick. Hey, excuse me. This is not, I'm not you. This is not my regular setup. I'm getting used to this new setup. I don't got my whole everything like I would like it. You know what I mean? So, that'll be coming soon, and the shows will be. Even though I like the way this Eve Marks look, and I like the way it handles. You dig what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you can do to it. It's a little involved, but I'm gonna load up everything and get used to it, man. Shout out to my big sis Tikva in our house. She said she loved the intro, bro. Yeah, that was Brian Young bringing that thing in through there like that. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Uh, Indeed, the creator is unstoppable. You dig what I'm saying? Who else up in this thing? My bro, Johnny James up in this thing. What it do, man? Salute to you, family, man. Hope all the family is doing well. Nothing but love, light, blessings your way, man. Blessings to you and the family. James, Johnny. What it do? What he say, y'all? He say love, peace, and light. Create a gang all praise. Glory and honor to the ever-present creator. Nothing but, brother. Salute to you and the fam, man. Love, light, and balance out there to you, man. Boy, James Johnny's been rocking for a long time, man. He been rocking with old Cosmonian. You dig what I'm talking about? And and this is just basically to get to take away that unknown, because people say you'll never know. No, you got to speak for yourself. It's people who do know and who look at it a whole different way. You dig what I'm talking about? And also look and apply what could possibly be the spiritual implications of what's going on. Think about this. If you killed a whole bunch of people in these dungeons, in the Vatican, in these places, you dig what I'm talking about, and then you hid all the secrets, let's say up under the Vatican, I bet you every 25 years you do need to open them doors and let all them drugin, dark, demonic, low vibratory emanations that are vibing in that building out of that thing. I bet you do. I bet you do. I bet you it's so many heinous secrets. Just think about, let's just say, the Inquisition alone. How many people got killed during the Inquisition? What about the Reconquista? You think it's some blood on them people's hands still hanging around? You dig what I'm talking about? Some dark energy from all this blood spill still hanging around? Yeah, you got to open them doors up. You got to let some of that out. Milestone, what up, though? What up, though, man? Salute to you and the fam, man. Happy holiday, happy winter solstice to you, brother. Dig what I'm saying? This is my Aboriginal brother, Milestone Thoughts, man. Dig what I'm saying, man? I'll make sure y'all share the live. We gonna keep going in real quick. My dog Fritz Foxwell up in here, man. Shout out to the OG Fritz Foxwell. You dig what I'm talking about? Big homie always keep me on game. You dig what I'm talking about? Just understand, when you're dealing with the gang, right? You never just dealing with one. There's always somebody on the grassy knoll. It's always overflying bombers ready to come scrape your ideology into nothingness. You dig what I'm talking about? We got intercontinental ballistics, light bombs. You dig what I'm talking about? We're dropping tungsten rods. You dig what I'm talking about? From the upper atmosphere. Listen, leave the gang alone. Because when you think we won't, we will. You dig what I'm talking about? Hey, yeah. Burr. Burr in the forest. You dig what I'm talking about? That's where the burr is supposed to be. You dig, you dig what I'm talking about? Who else up in here? Lawrence Burton. Say, gang in this thing. That's right. You dig what I'm saying? That's Shael 369. Damn name. Let me take it. Let me happy holidays to my bro, man. Hey, man, sharp brother, well read. He got a lot of game. He like I said, he a shooter. He not gonna say nothing to none of y'all. Y'all ain't gonna know this brother exists. He gonna say, hey, coordinates. Where you think? Yeah, they was over here talking. Look, I already got to put that on them real quick. And then on the side, throw this Escra 25. And you dig what I'm saying? Listen, shooters on the grassy knows. Man, who else up in this thing? My brother from another mother. Sir Yogurt himself. You dig what I'm talking about? The bronze yoke, man. Salute to the bronze yoke. Salute to my young ones out there. Salute to wifey out there. You dig what I'm talking about? In the loo, making it do what it do. You dig what I'm saying? Love, life, balance out there to my brother, man. Hey, Bronze Young, man, hooked me up with the famous boy. Now, for y'all who be seeing me move in the Aboriginal movement too, y'all done seen that when your boy hit him with that, get him up off me. You dig what I'm talking about? Hit them boys with that Hadouken. That's Bronze Young. Bronze Young, to get your boys with that Hadouken. Get y'all together with the info real quick. Him look scared. Did you see that? I want to go back and look. Hold on. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you when he opened that door. Look, watch this. Watch this. He opened the door right there. Watch this. Watch his face. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Look. He look constipated. What's going on? And why he keep peeping over there? What? Look, watch. Hold on. Let me slow it up a little bit. Let's slow it up a little bit. Let's slow it up a little bit. See what he do. Nose clear, look, eyes closed. Look. What is that?
With the bells ringing in the background of the basilica.
What is that? You dig what I'm saying? So I don't know what these people be having going on with them, but trust me, one thing I do know for sure, they are in many times inspired by low dark demonic entities who they have now who has duped them into believing they are in fact God and their God. This is why they praise God. Everybody who who's really spiritual knows you don't praise God. God don't need nothing from you. As a matter of fact, God is you. And anybody who got any spiritual insight, you ain't got to believe me. Jesus was telling you, Buddha was telling you, Christos was telling you, Apollonius Satayana was telling you, Plato was telling you, who actually Plato is the author of the Melchizedekian Science of the Sun. Yep. That's what it was. This is why they said he didn't have no progenitor, no father, no mother. He didn't know what it was. The son they were talking about. But let's go back, right? Let's go back. You dig what I'm saying? Who else up in here? Tone, the lonely one, man. Peace to my brother Tone, man. He be out there on them roads, man. Shout out to my brother, hey, Soul Brother Great Lakes, man. Hey, thank you for coming through, man. Hey, man, y'all sub, like, share, man. Share the live out there. You dig what I'm talking about? We just gonna keep pushing on to 1,000. You dig what I'm talking about? Who else up in here? Hey, my baby brother up in here. You dig what I'm talking about? Young Mikey of the Turtles. You dig what I'm talking about? The red horse from the Four Horsemen. Listen, it's my baby brother, the Megaton light bomb himself. You dig what I'm talking about? Honor and humility, STL's own Malachi Maccabee. Shout out to my brother, man. Y'all go over there and sub, like, share to honor and humility. That's my baby bro, man. One of the Four Horsemen. You dig what I'm talking about? Jehovah came to send this young man also to get out there, and you dig what I'm talking about, to share that light. You dig what I'm saying? It's only 4 of us. We got other brothers coming. My young brother Judah Bond. You dig what I'm talking about? Nazarene is seen. Bronze Yoke. Yahweh Yah. Well, I can't wait for the dreadful yoke. You dig what I'm talking about? Podcast to come on out. We got to get that out. You dig what I'm talking about? I'm sure they gonna have heavy hip hop influences, breaking down today's, modern commentary like nobody else. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? Hey, Johnny J, he say, that's right. That's right. Fam. You dig what I'm saying? It's different when somebody mean it, though. You dig what I'm saying? It's different when somebody mean it. You see what I'm saying? Hit a little different when it comes from a real one. You dig what I'm saying? Let's get back into some of this. Let's see what this guy talking about. This portals they opened up last night, y'all. Remember, Luamang whole heaven didn't fail. He already been in hell. So if it is that you got to redo all this redemption, you got to clean up what it is you making up, well then you done killed a whole bunch of people during the Reconquista. Right down there under the Vatican. As a matter of fact, many of the catacombs throughout Europe was built upon the bones of men killed in these times, man, of these atrocities pushed by these false deities. Namely, the false god of the Christians, Christ, aka Luamang. That's the name on the head and on the thigh in Revelations 19 and 11. The God coming back riding a horse with a name that you don't know. The name that you don't know is Luamang. But the name you do know is Christ. Same false nigga. Now he got to clean up some of this dirt that he doing. Is it that Luamang now has to come back and he raised these people up in groups in the same place that he wiped them out, that he duped them in? Luamang can't rise a jot, a tittle to everybody he has ever affected. With the lie of Christianity, right? Not only is exposed to his falsity, but till he cleans up his mess. Till he balances out all the dirt that he did. Well, how do you balance out taking somebody's life in your name? Knowing you was false. You knew you was false from the get-go. That pride, that ego couldn't let it go. So yeah, not every 50 years, every 25 years, the false God Christ open these doors up and come lift some of these spirits up, as is explained in Owaspy. I ain't gonna beat y'all to death with it. I'm gonna just show you in real life.
Abbiamo dato inizio a un nuovo giubileo. Ciascuno di noi può entrare nel mistero di questo annuncio di grazia. Questa è la notte in cui la porta della speranza si è spalancata sul mondo. Questa è la notte
On this night, God says to each one,
in cui Dio dice a ciascuno: c'è speranza anche per te.
Pope Francis did not forget the conflicts throughout the planet during this very important Mass.
Questa è l'indicazione per ritrovare la speranza perduta, rinnovarla dentro di noi, seminarla nelle desolazioni del nostro tempo e del nostro mondo, senza indugio. E ce ne sono tante desolazioni in questo tempo. Pensiamo alle guerre, ai bambini mitragliati, alle bombe sulle scuole e gli ospedali.
The Mass ended with Pope Francis.
That was kind of pointed. He all but said who he was talking about. Anybody got any ideas who he's talking about, who's in a war right now, committing genocidal atrocities, killing children, bombing schools and hospitals? Anybody you can think about, just throw it up in the chat. You dig what I'm talking about? We ain't got to put nothing on it. You dig what I'm talking about?
Tempo del nostro mondo, senza indugio. E ce ne sono tante desolazioni in questo.
Yep. There are so many desolations in this time. We think of war.
Tempo. Pensiamo alle guerre, ai bambini metragliati,
of the murdered children,
alle bombe sulle spoglie,
of bombs on schools and hospitals. Make it clean then, Pope. Huh? You got your little yarmulke beanie on anyway. Is you telling?
ospedali.
The Mass ended with Pope Francis taking Jesus to the manger. There, a
Look at
group of
baby
children.
Jeebus. look at little baby Jeebus. Shout out baby Jeebus. That's my dog. Hey, look at baby Jeebus. That nigga got the gold on, sun rays, dappling off that pale skin. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out baby Jeebus. That's my dog.
Children dressed in traditional costumes worshiped the child. They brought him flowers, and thus began one of the most important days for Catholics, Christmas.
I wanna I also, want to take it out of the spooky realm, right? And just show you in some of the ways what our ancient ancestors were actually doing on this day, what this day means, why this day, because we're going into the winter solstice. This begins the winter solstice, right? Remember, there's a reason, a time and a season for everything. Nothing happens willy-nilly. You dig what I'm talking about? Nothing at all. There's no mistakes in what's going on. Everything's happening just like it's supposed to. You dig what I'm saying? So the winter solstice is the time where the planet goes into a barren season, or what we call winter, in rejuvenation or in preparation for rejuvenation that we call spring, or the beginning of the year. Think about this. 45 days from now, what happens? Right? Hold on one second. So, 45 days through, guess what we have? So-called Valentine's Day, or the beginning of Lent. 45 days after that. And at the end of the winter season, or 90 days after the winter solstice, guess what we have, y'all? Spring in the beginning of the new year. Huh? See, we got to put ourselves back in alignment with the earth, with nature. You dig what I'm talking about? And we gonna be all right. You dig what I'm talking about? But this is part of understanding what's going on around you. Let me show you some of the Algonquin way. You dig what I'm talking about? How we actually was looking at this. You dig what I'm talking about? These people I'm going to show you.
You protect those you love in many.
Are, for those who.
The solstice is, of course,
for those who, understand the Aboriginal movement, understand that we taught everybody else, the Algonquin. You dig what I'm talking about? And these, even though he Mongoloid, are some of your people. Add, mix, and then stepped off. You dig what I'm saying? How do you know? Because they're Mongoloidal, quote unquote, right? And yet they got your stories that predate them. Because you dig what I'm saying? And then you dig, a lot of their stories are anthropomorphized while ours are telling about real men, real events, things that are going on. You dig what I'm talking about? It's not spooky, even though it's Wakam. You dig what I'm saying? Or spiritual. It's not spooky. But we didn't never see it like that anyway because we always understood, right? These are times, seasons, right? And these repetitive seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, just keep repeating, right? And by certain counts, you dig what I'm saying, especially using the moon, right? The great Tori count, you dig what I'm saying? The moon, at certain days, things were perceived like for 3 days, it seems like the sun doesn't move on the 21st, but on that third day, it rises again. In that tale, you have the understanding of the rebirth or the reincarnation of Jesus after his death. He was supposedly dead on the cross for 3 days. Well, that is when the Southern Cross shows itself, right? In the sky in the south, the Southern Cross shows itself predominant in the sky. And the sun, Jeebus, seems to sit in the sky for 3 days, right? And then on that third day or 24th, last night, it rose up 1 degree this morning. So, that's the understanding of the in a sense, cross in the sky. You dig what I'm saying? In the story of Christmas, it is a astrological, allegorical retelling of real events. Right? No spooky. We ain't gotta do none of that. You dig what I'm saying? We ain't gotta do none of that. But let's go show. Because these are some of the creed. This is some of the creed. These are some of the people in the north who got Algonquin blood in them, right? There's some of the people in the north, way up in Canada, right? And it's my belief that even though these people have these names now, and it is applied to them, many of them are just like the 5 civilized tribes, not in effect who they say they are, but because of the affiliation in place that they were placed in, were put in control of certain entities after breeding in, killing off, warring with, even in some sense, just straight up traitoring and backstabbing of people. You dig what I'm saying? But all them old wounds, you dig what I'm talking about, have healed, and now it's just time to be truthful about it. Tell the truth, right? So, but we got to give our brothers the shout out. This is not to down them. Why? Because we told them the history. We showed them the way. When they got here, right? The Inuit people who predate people like the Cree, right? They predate people like the Cree. When they got here, we admixed to make a person like this brother right here. We admixed. You can clearly tell you can clearly tell he Aluit. And he may have some European stocks up in him now, but you can still see that cut. You can see he not pure. He not pure Inuit. You dig what I'm talking about? But he telling the heavenly melanated Algonquin people stories. Why? Because we shared it with them. It's ancient. They're my brothers. So you got to give them respect because they kept it. Even though they did what they did, right? Ended up turning their back on us. It is what it is, right? Because remember, they got to clean that mess up. And look at the res. Yeah. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? I live in any hood in America before I go to the res right now. I go to South Central. You dig what I'm talking about? Phew. So, trust me, everybody, you know, got to clean up their messes, but they kept the stories too. They kept some of these stuff. Now, it may be a little amorphized and a little souped up and duped up, and you got to, have a lot of, little, a discerning heart, an ability to, separate the real from the fake, the literature from the history, and try to pull a real spiritual meaning about of it, right? But let's go and see what some of our ancient ancestors. Just a quick overall idea to show you that we've been doing this here in America before there was a Christianity, huh? They didn't re-rocked and repackaged up our winter solstice holiday and sold it back to us as crisp at Christmas. Oh, a mass of Christ, which is a moon's day mass, and Chris or the X, the Chi in the row. Who you think twisted up the understanding? Christ, right? This is why it's still today twisted up with Jesus's birthday, twisted up with Christ. This is why it's called Christ Mass. The Chi in the row. Huh?
The solstice is, of course, the shortest day and the longest night. We refer to that BSIM. We look at BSIM, that sun, and we realize that the sun gets to its lowest level at that time. And it's a time for rest for a lot of the animals and for the plants. And it's a time for the people to replenish their spirit. It's time for them to dream.
Listen.
When those stars are up in the sky, we know the winter has that time.
The animals do what? The animals do what? They go into hibernation. They chill out. He said, and the same thing for man. This is a time where man goes into himself, and it's a time where he's supposed to dream. Huh? This is a time where you set your dreams and your thoughts and your goals and aspirations for the year into motion, using the natural energy of doing what you're supposed to be doing. Dreaming. This is how you set up your reality. You think it into existence, and then you go chase it. Because it's coming.
Lowest level at that time. And it's a time for rest for a lot of the animals and for the plants. And it's a time for the people to replenish their spirit. It's time for them to dream.
To replenish their spirit. To dream. That's exactly what happens when you're dreaming. Huh? When you're resting, your spirit leaves your body. The body is allowed to rest. Right? But dreams are played to your mind to teach you lessons. Right? Check out one of my great I like this guy right here in the sky. I know y'all don't see it yet, but this is my guy who they call Whiskey Jack. His real name is Wasaki Jack. Huh? And he's pointing at the Pleiades. Yeah. Right? This is in your sky right now. It's no mistaking, y'all. It's no mistaking. If you in the northern hemisphere, you can see this tonight. Watch this.
When those stars are up in the sky, we know the winter has arrived. And if you look up that group of stars, you can see Wisage Chak up in the sky, and he's pointing to a group of stars called the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. And this group of stars is known by our people as g.a.n.g, the hole in the sky. When they talk about the hole in the sky, it refers to our origins, where we come from. And we go back to that hole in the sky.
Now, it explains in Owaspy, in the book of Osir, the time where natural science was given to the earth, that they gave these places as had astrological and cosmological sciences all behind them, and then man over time forgot the the science behind it and just start praising the planet, and then deified the planet. You see what I'm saying? So this is how over the time, you get the stories where they're now tying animals to man, and you dig what I'm talking about, just to remember what the story was supposed to be teaching in the first place. You see what I'm saying? But I wanted to show this too, right? Because this is not just a thing of just in North America. This is a worldwide phenomenon. It may be the oldest here, right? But I'm tending to start to believe that it comes all at the same time, everywhere. We just find it oldest here, right? Because we could go into China where they ain't let us look yet, and it be older. I'm almost guaranteeing it. India, guarantee, is just as old or old as. Huh? And once you understand that Ham, Shem, and Japhet had two more brothers, Yista and Guatemala or America. It really start to make sense. And in America, the big brother, he the oldest brother. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because this is something hard to do to get, he the oldest, to a place that's, but the first show gonna be last show gonna be first. So you dig what I'm saying? It all plays into all of the narratives. You can't look past none of it. Just pick what you can pick up out of it, what makes sense to you, spit the rest out, and keep on moving with the creator. You dig what I'm talking about? We ain't taking no step back.
So you think you know Wix?
You dig
Do
what
you
I'm
really?
talking about? We're not taking a step back. We're not going back.
First up, we've got Shape Video.
The summer sun.
But you dig what I'm saying? You got to.
Marketers are
first
spread
of all,
so thin. You've got to generate leads, then score leads, then contact leads. But is it leading?
You dig what I'm talking about? When you give us all this good information, you gotta give us a way to prove it too, homeboy. You dig what I'm saying? All praises to the Great Spirit, but you dig what I'm talking about? He is logic and common sense, correct? All right. Well, if you giving me new knowledge and all this stuff, and you want to teach me about the heavens and all that, well then you got to give me a way to prove it. He say, "Oh, I speak is that information." Listen, and when you go in this book, sheesh, watch what it got to say about the solar year and the solstices and how it. Listen, it gives a whole nother insight on why of these buildings and when, because I believe, and to my knowledge, they're far much older than what they're trying to say they are. Okay, then yes. You see what I'm saying? So, but let's get into, let's share this. Let's see if everybody can see this. right? This is the winter solstice, right? It's the most celebrated holiday in the world. Y'all call it Christmas today, but it's really just the celebration of the winter solstice, right? Actually 45 days after the harvest season ends. Start to make sense? 90 days after fall or autumn begins. Mm, 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 mm. Interesting how it all works together mathematically. So if it's mathematically, that means if it's based on mathematics, well, then there's a mind behind it. Somebody had to think of it, right? That put it in a whole different type of connotation of what you dealing with. But watch these people, just like Owaspi tell us, these things are solar observatories, clocks and calendars, huh? Ritualistic centers, right? And we are actually looking at the bones of what's left of these buildings, right? There was other structures, dirt and wood structures and all type of stuff that many times connected and domed off these areas and all that stuff. And we're just watching the remnants of what left. Well, what tears massive ton stone rocks and melts them and carves them up and all that? That ain't just wind and water. Ain't just wind and water. And then look, on the south side, how you know that's the south side, Cosma? How you know this is looking at Africa? How you know that, Cosma? Because this, first of all, is Europe, right? Where they looking at right here. Then why wouldn't you just say this is Europe. And lichen and moss only grows in the north. So we know where we looking at. The destruction came south to north. Look at it. See how it's bowled out? That's because stuff was coming this way. Look out the stone. Look at the stone carved up. Carved up. I think these are results of Esker.
Majority of this year, I have been exploring Northern Europe, visiting many different ancient sites.
Fair
And one of the
use, man.
things
You
that
get
many
what
of
I'm
these
talking
sites have
about?
in common is that they are.
Hold on, let me give this brother some shout outs because even though he got a first of all he got a nice channel, and he got a little weird way about it. You dig what I'm talking about? But he engaged and he got some info and he boots on the ground. You dig what I'm saying? He has a different way of looking at things, and he goes and looks at things that I would go look at because I know what this is. Y'all see that? What's that? That's a mound. Huh? I'm saying these bricks in this door got added in later. And even this is thousands of years old. You see what I'm saying? But the mound is even older. And look back here. Ooh, mound way back there. You see what I'm saying? So ain't no telling. Let's see where this boy at, man, what he got going on. But this is the winter solstice, most celebrated holiday in the world. Shout out Jacob Tyson, man. Fair use. We're using this for teaching purposes, man. We're going to take this spooky out of this, though.
Aligning with the winter and summer solstices. And as this video is releasing on December 20th, one day before the Northern Hemisphere has its winter solstice, I do want to talk a little bit more about the winter solstice and its significance, not to just Northern Europe, but global culture and spiritual beliefs. And so in this video, I'm actually in America once again. So I'm going to be taking us on a road trip to visit a modern site that is honoring the winter and summer solstices in Ohio. And so this is a really beautiful location. I really can't wait to show it to you, but it is about 4 hours, give or take, from me. So it's going to be a little bit of a road trip. So I hope you enjoy the footage I have for you today. And of course, the information discussing the winter solstice and how it played a significant role in the ancient past and may still play a very important role in our spiritual understanding of the world today. The Ohio Stonehenge was built around 5 years ago by the Ohio Renaissance Fair, and it's been here ever since. Now, when talking to the people who built it a few years ago, they couldn't exactly tell me why they built it. They simply said because they wanted to. And ever since then, it's been very scarcely used outside of weddings or the occasional ritual. Oftentimes those rituals performed by the Fellowship of Northern Traditions. I've been back here a couple of times to do some equinox solstice celebrations, but otherwise it doesn't really seem to serve a purpose outside of the fact of honoring the winter and summer solstices. And so at first you might not think that this structure is very significant because it's not Stonehenge, right? It's not made of massive stones. But when we actually dive into the historical examples of places used to honor and venerate and observe the winter and summer solstices, this building is actually very similar to several of them. So I probably don't need to share this opening bit, but just in case. If you don't know what the winter solstice is, the winter solstice is a scientific thing. So the Earth is on an axis, it tilts a bunch, and at some point it reaches its maximum tilt where the northern hemisphere is the furthest away from the sun, and this is the winter solstice. And then when it tilts back and goes forward, and we're now the closest to the sun in the northern hemisphere, that's the summer solstice, when we have the longest days. Longest days, shorter days. And obviously this is something we take for granted now because we're just like, oh yeah, that's just life. But this is something that people really had to figure out for themselves in the ancient past. But the first site, obviously, to talk about is Stonehenge. But Stonehenge really isn't as significant as you may think, simply because it's not as unique as you may think. And it's a later construction. So when comparatively to the other sites we're going to be talking about, Stonehenge is actually quite young. The main solar elements of Stonehenge come in the form of the entrances and the exits. This is a very common theme we're going to see throughout the various sites we're going to talk about. So the entrance, as almost here as well, is the rising sun, as marked by this gate. Usually it's the rising of the summer sun and the setting of the winter sun. So
that's actually a good question. What herbs help you remember your dreams? There are I don't know that. I don't know. I know what helps clear the body out, which will overall help your dreams, but there are certain things that just specifically help the dream. Now I would have to get into but I know who do know. You dig what I'm talking about? And we gotta get into the herbs and the crystallology and all that stuff, because all that stuff tie in together. You dig what I'm talking about? And it has a lot to do with memory. You dig what I'm saying? So, and clearing the mind and being focused and whatnot. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, I need to do something on that. That's a good question. But let's get back to it real quick.
the winter sun right there, and it's going to go all the way down, and it's going to set right where that rock is. So that is the winter solstice exit point. At least that's as far as I know. So the Stonehenge is basically the same way. A lot of the pictures you see are of the main megalithic rocks, and this is usually with like the sun in between that. And as far as I know, that's just because it looks cool. The main celebratory point is the entrance points of Stonehenge. Now, the other site I want to bring mention into is within the site of g.a.n.g in Ireland, because this site is much more significant, at least within the spiritual aspect, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more later. But the site of Newgrange in Ireland, you have basically these like tunnels that have been dug into the burial mound structure that allow light in only once per year during the winter solstice, and then it illuminates.
Now I want you. Now look, I couldn't have stopped it at a better place. Y'all see what's on the wall? They don't. We know what we looking at. They don't know why it's dirt on top of that thing. They don't know this is actually the mound. See the structure? What's built on top of it, which they mistake as the mound, is actually the umani. They call it sacred because you're not supposed to step on it. But what we see right here, do that look like a spiraling, whirling vortice to you? You think it's a mistake it's there? You think it's a mistake that that thing look like a earth with in a womb of in an atmospheric womb of air? You think it's a mistake it looks like and follows the same pattern as our sun? Oh, you think it's a mistake that it's called Khan, and we got the Grand Khans in America, It's a science, y'all. What are they explaining? They're explaining, speak. Literally, it's earth, sky, spirit. What else? Think about it. What else do you need to know? If I learn about the earth, everything on it. Learn about the sky, everything in it. And then, not only do I learn about, but I master and dominate my own spirit. Ooh-wee. Ain't that a prophetess? Ain't that a prophet? All the time. What are the baddest prophets? Or most times called? Do you think I want to be cooking right now? Like Yeshua. They was born Aisu. I'm doing it. Already in between the feminine and the masculine in spirit and in flesh. Dominant. So they hunger, sex, none of that mattered. He could master it. And just like a god, this is why they confused him. But the idea that you need to understand about him is he was a man, a physical man that was doing this. And then he turned around and told you could do this and do it even better than him. How, Jeeba? How we do that, Jeeba? Well, logically, when you put some common sense to this, I could only do what you do if we the same thing. Are you trying to tell me I'm a son of the... Oh, now it makes sense. This why you say, ye are God, yet you die like men. Oh, I'm just supposed to master all this here now. What? Well, ain't that called life? Interesting. Just different ways of looking at it, y'all. Right? Sure do take a whole lot of that fear away, don't it? That's right. He don't make no mistakes, sis. And he don't tangle and twist it. He very plain. He don't beat around the bush neither. You dig what I'm talking about? He very plain. So, and the most easiest thing to understand in all creation. We're going to get it one day, though. We'll be all right. Let's get back to this real quick. But y'all see, you see Cosmo. I didn't make this. Why that stare? How old you think this is? Huh? And if this is mound builder stock, huh? What is doing way up in the north? And why is it underground? Hmm? Huh? Is this in Ohio? Did he say this was in Ohio? Shh. Listen, stop playing. Stop playing. What are we even talking about? What is that, y'all? Is that not the Tao Sang? Is that not the course of the sun? We know how long this is. This is 4.7 million years. How you know, Cosmo? Because it's a moon, it's a sun count. And guess what? This is why there's 3. Huh? 3 times 4.7, right? 14.1. The same number of years they say that man has been in existence on and off the planet. You think it's a mistake it's there? First of all, who carved this? You didn't carve this 2,000 years ago neither. Ain't no way. It ain't even supposed to be no tools that could do this. And look how they got it. Look how they got it all set up. It's like Lego blocks. You can't do this purportedly 12,000 years ago. Cosmo's saying they double that old. I'm saying by the time even the Olmec would have found these, they would have been out of use. By the time the later on people who go on to build the little smaller rock structures, not the megalithic type like in the mound like this, but the little doors and stuff outside, just like the Inca did to the great Peruvian temples. They built on top of them. Something was already there. You're not supposed to be able to do this 20,000 years ago, 15,000, 30,000, 40,000 years ago. With what tools? You had to use some tools. You did not do this with copper tools. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You dig what I'm saying? So much of this is limestone, granite, diorite, which is hard as a diamond. You dig dang near? You dig what I'm talking about? So it gets a little astounding, and OWASP give you a way to make it make sense. But let's keep rocking. Right? This is the winter solstice, the most celebrated holiday in the world.
It's the center chamber. Now, of course, this makes it really interesting because New.Grange is built around the same time as the pyramids. And so New.Grange might not be as grand as the pyramids. It's still an amazing structure. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that structure with you next year when I go to Ireland. But this illuminating of the center chamber specifically on the winter solstice is really interesting. Now, New.Grange is actually not the oldest site to feature this element. Now, there's another site that I personally visited, which is the Stony Littleton Burial Mound located near Bath, England. The Stony Littleton Burial Mound has a very similar feature. It's a little bit more simple in design. It's a very long, it's a long barrow grave that's older than New.Grange by quite a significant amount of time. And this tunnel specifically aligns with the setting of the winter solstice sun. And so again, we have this theme of a burial chamber being illuminated.
Y'all see the mounds?
Midwinter.
They keep saying burial chamber.
Oh, speaking of midwinter, one thing I forgot to mention as well is that the midwinter sun is another term for the solstice, because in ancient cultures, the solstice wasn't the beginning of winter; it was midwinter. Whereas in our modern day, we're used to December 21st being the transition into winter, there were very soft seasons in the past. Autumn, in particular, was not typically overseen by the Northern Europeans. I do think that spring, to some extent, was, but for the most part, summer and winter were the two main extremes observed. And so winter solstice was at the midwinter point, which to me makes more sense because it's always felt weird to have the winter holiday at the beginning of winter. It makes more sense to have it at midwinter. But anyways, oh, and it's also the point where the sun is at its lowest. We have the darkest nights of the year. And then the sun returns. So saying midwinter does make more sense, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of the ancient peoples as well. I do want to make a special note, just because I am a major fan of Scotland, is Scotland also features these passage graves, or the clava cairns, the clava style of burial mound. These are also featured predominantly in the site near Inverness. There is an alignment of the burial cairns with the route of the winter sun. And again, this is another site I've been able to visit. And the thing that makes this site very interesting is there are the burial cairns, but then there's also one that appears to be used only for ritual purposes. It's a series of rocks in a big circle with a pit in the center of it, with elements of ash that have been found from the past. And so it must have been a bonfire place, a place for big fires. And so the site was also used for many generations of people in Scotland, not just the original builders, because it was added onto with another smaller burial mound. And so this alignment of the solar cycles, particularly with the winter, was prominent in northern Scotland as well, a little bit later in time. So now that we're moving away from the British Isles, a site of significance that needs to be talked about is a site in Germany, because this is actually the oldest, as far as I'm aware, site in Europe that has been found that is a religious site that is an observance of the solar cycles, particularly with the winter and the summer solstices. So this site is called Gossik, I believe, or Gossik. It's about dead center in Germany, and it's from thousands of years ago. And the site is very similar to what we're standing in now. It had an entrance point for the summer solstice, summer sun rising, and an exit point for the winter solstice going down and setting. The site has been reconstructed after its discovery about 20 years ago, and it really is a silent thing I don't think anyone talks about. I didn't know about it until I did my research for this video. But the site at Gossik does seem to be very significant. And again, I love the fact that it does look very similar to the Stonehenge here in Ohio.
Now the Stonehenge that just got rebuilt here is older than the one that they just shown. This one that's rebuilt, this one right here, that they just found and rebuilt, right? We'd already rebuilt one in the 1960s over here, and ours is older than theirs. This is just the oldest in Europe. So they saying, you dig what I'm saying? They didn't even know this was here. We had already rebuilt it in America. See what I'm saying? But Creator says his early people built on mounds and in walled cities. Right? Could we be looking at not only an observatory, right, but a dwelling place? What we just looking at what's left over? What if this in the middle is actually the top? And it's just been depressed down. Right? Because look how much stuff they had to unbury to get this. Look at the stuff around it. This means, and looks like to me, there was water that ran here. Or what my original thought was, this is the original outside structure, right? Banked by two lands, by the land on both sides, and then it would have the inner structure built like this. So you would be looking at a tall wall and a smaller inside wall, right?
After its discovery about 20 years ago. And it really is a silent thing I don't think anyone talks about. I didn't know about it until I did my research for this video. But the site at g.a.n.g does seem to be very significant. And again, I love the fact that it does look very similar to the Stonehenge here in Ohio. Now, there is a site I want to talk about in South America that gives us a little bit more detail about potentially there being deified worship. And this was much later. This was with the Inca tribe in Machu Picchu. There is a temple to the sun that was built there that has a window for the summer solstice, but there that would be the winter solstice. Particularly the sun coming through this little chamber and illuminating kind of a platform looking thing. Obviously, I haven't been there, but, and again, we don't know that much. Like, scholars don't know that much about Machu Picchu because there was very little written evidence to talk about this very late site. It was only built, I think, like 600 years ago. But we know very little about what was occurring there. But we do know that this was a temple to the sun, particularly with the sun god of the Inca tribe.
Don't believe the hype. Machu Picchu is massively old. Machu Picchu is older than even what I thought, and I was doing some astrogeological accounting. I thought personally it's about 20,000 years old. 18,000 BC. This is even my far dated, right? I think it's much older. Now that I've done some astrogeological, chronology on it, I got it at about 34,000 BC. 10,000 years before the flood. Let that sink in. Yes. Huh? These buildings are, listen, built by your ancient ancestors who are misnomered as Toltec, who are misnomered as Olmec. These are your great Ahuans, huh? Large copper-colored megalithic builders of America. They carved the Rio Grande. They carved the Amazon. They built Machu Picchu. They built Teotihuacan. Huh? They built Ollantaytambo, whose real name is Huacanyo. Remember the ancient Ahuans. Ahua. Right? So everywhere you see the Ahua, this is what they call themselves. They never called themselves Olmec. Olmec is a time that science puts all these people who live during this period, all in this, who live in this area, all of them is quote unquote Mayan or quote unquote Olmec or quote unquote Toltec if you're a little north. No, they didn't call themselves that at all. They called themselves Ahua, and they left their names in the building. This is why the people who lived there, the Negroid or copper-colored people who look just like us in North America, by the way, right? This is why their name, the people who lived there before the Inca. Remember, the Inca admit, oh, we didn't build this, y'all. No, we, we put some little structures on top of it. Nah, but this big stuff was already here, cuz. Yeah. How can you change that? And then guess what? The people who was there before them, who are named the, hold on to your hat, Ayahuasca. Huaca. Ahua, Ayahua, Waka. I can't make it up this good. They even said they found the buildings there. It's older than them. What they don't know is they're literally walking on their technology. The building lived at one time, full of direct current. The same way you can cut a light on today, you'd have put a filament in, just brought it in the building, or touched the wall, or touched the table. It would have came alive. The filament would have gave off light. Starting to see? You dig what I'm saying? Hua. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's us. Especially in America. You a bad mind them in America, I'm telling you. You had some warriors out of control. See, they don't understand that Creator gives what's needed all the time. Right? And usually when there's a problem, it don't be no mystical, magical stuff that happen. It be a man that makes something happen. Look, this brother does this as a living, right? We now have more info on this is his life study. He gets paid for this. I know more info on this stuff than he do. Now you do too. Because he's telling you what he know. Cosmon telling you what I know. Right? And then we gonna go on and show some more stuff. I'm glad that he admitted though that it was older in America. Not Cosmon saying it, not my feelings about it, or none of that. You dig what I'm saying? I'm glad he said it.
The Inca people, the sun god was one of the most significant deities to them. And this is a common theme among many of these American indigenous people, which was the sun god being very prominent. And so having some way to honor that and capture that power is very interesting.
You're the person with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love. But did you know that you could go to jail?
Never forget that anytime you see establishing shots like this show me dramatically walking into the distance, I always have to come back and get the camera and then actually go to the location itself. So if you appreciate this work and the long walks I do to get these establishing shots that are used for 10 seconds in each video, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share this video whenever possible. And since it is the Yule season, if you do want to support my work by purchasing a Yule story, the book I wrote featuring this time of year, please think about doing that as well. It truly helps so very much. But let's go ahead and get back to this video discussing the winter solstice and its importance throughout history and within our modern world today. All right, come in now, you stupid camera. Let's go continue the walk up towards the Sunhenge. The other thing I wanted to talk about is a site that it's really close by to where I'm standing right now in Ohio, is the Serpent Mounds, which are very mysterious. I have visited these several times. I believe I filmed a video there, if I remember correctly.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I was talking, had the thing muted. What I was saying is, don't take these dates. You dig what I'm talking about? That they give for these mounds with a grain of salt, right? Okay, you telling me in 10,070 CE niggas built this? How? And with what? For what? Hmm? I'm telling you, the animal effigies, especially in North America, are older than the mounds. Huh? Because before the people got here and put up the mounds, right? And set up the mound and mound culture in North America, they came and built these animal effigies, at my guess. Yes. Right? And from my research, roughly 60,000 years ago. Right. They're that old. So you couldn't carbon date this, no way. Hmm? So take, these dates with a grain of salt. You dig what I'm talking about? And look, Owaspi revealed, look, ain't even no mound builders like we know, as explained before, even on the earth in 300. They had been gone 800 plus years, 900 plus years. Went for the most part extinct off the planet. Right here. Right? This 900 years too late. 850 plus years too late at 300 BC. Right? These mounds, the animal effigy mounds, are older. Because before the mound builder culture even got here to set up shop, they came up here and was used in America, as an observatory. All right? You get shots in North America you can't see from any other places in the world. Hmm? This is a representation of our sun going through the solar system. Let me see something. Wow. What if, look at this. Remember, they tell us, even the ancients tell us, we are in they say when they start writing the stories, the fifth, sixth version of man. That man had been wiped out from multiple cataclysms, fire, water, all type of stuff, earthquakes. And we are on the, they would have said the fifth, but it would be the seventh great spin of our solar system. See it? Right? What if these are great spins right here? One, look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we in the seventh era. And the sun is, and this is just a representation of the great g.a.n.g. And look at the up and down nature of it, the oscillating nature. And we know in real time the sun does that through the ecliptic. Look. So they knew that we were already, it's an eclipse. If it was like they said it today, the snake would have been laid straight out. But that ain't how none of the universe works. It's all curved and spiraling. Even our sun today moves up and down along the ecliptic, literally oscillating. Looks like a snake. Huh? In a 365-day repeating pattern, it'll make a wave, or if you just standing in in one place and watching it move throughout the sky over the year, not just when it rises. It makes an analemma, or like an infinity sign. And guess what? When you're at the top in the north, you starting off spring. That's the new year. And as you're going south towards the winter equinox, right? That's when you at the quote unquote end of the solar year, but not the lunar, huh? The lunar starts in what? March. Hmm? And this is where you get them extra weeks from. The 13 months. But this stuff is way older than what they trying to tell you. Way, way, way older. And we gonna get into this. Oh, Cosmon ain't gonna, just talk you to death. Even though I'm showing you objective proof of what I'm saying. But let me show you why I be saying what I'm saying also. You dig what I'm talking about? You gotta know what you're saying.
Very mysterious. I have visited these several times. I believe I filmed a video there, if I remember correctly. But the site does align with the summer and winter solstice. The head of the serpent in the serpent mound aligns with the summer solstice setting,
Just
and then the
making it
tail
up.
aligns with the winter solstice rising, I think. But this site is possibly 1,000 to 2,000 years old. It's up to debate. There's been multiple tests on this, and they've always come up with different answers. But it is shrouded in mystery of why this very intricate structure was built and why it was aligned with the winter and summer solstice. A few hundred miles to the west of Serpent Mounds may provide us a few more answers. And this is from the Cahokia Woodhenge, or the Cahokia Structure City. There is a massive city that existed in western Illinois at one point that mysteriously vanished into time. And one of the aspects of this is having a wood hinge not too dissimilar to this that also featured markers for the summer and winter solstices. There was also burial mounds here, as well as pyramids, I believe, like pyramid mounds. I don't know too much about this, but I just wanted to feature in this. I intend to do more research, and I want to actually go out to where.
If he don't know about Cahokia, imagine how far he really is behind. Cahokia is going to blow this brother's mind. Let me give you a little hint, Todd. The structure you're actually really looking for is in the middle of all that dirt. The substructure up under the dirt is what you really want, bud. And sadly, good, not sadly, but goodly, thankfully, you can't dig in it. You dig what I'm talking about? That's gonna take some of these real aboriginals who done got their mind right, and they've been looking for the mothership. It's the earth, and I think there's some ways to make her work that ain't been explained with us yet. You dig what I'm talking about? I don't think we've been tapped in for a while. And I think this thing has already happened before. This is not nothing new. I think these understandings take different vocal tones over time. Anciently, you would have called it Lemuria. More modern, anciently, you would have called it Atlantis. I think today that same understanding is called America. See what I'm saying? Look, man, share these lives out, man. To your friends and your family, man, happy holidays out there to everybody. Yeah, let's just keep cooking, man. It's your boy Cosmonian, man, the cloud kicker. Kicking all that pie in the sky out of the sky. Stomping on clouds, you dig what I'm talking about? We gonna get to some of this reality over here. Cause ain't no use in having all this spirituality if it ain't helping you today.
Cahokia once was and talk about it further. But I did find it really interesting that there are more sites in ancient North America than we are ever taught in American schools that are tied to these ancient beliefs of sun worship. And again, these sites are new. So we have sites from Central America going back only about 500 or 600 years. We have sites going back only about 1,000 years to, again, like 1,200 years, 2,000 years in North America as well. So this obsession with watching and observing the sun goes far past just simple scientific observation. Now, there are many more sites to talk about. There are sites across the British Isles, across Northern and Central Europe and Americas and the Americas that all have to do with the winter and summer solstice. And this is true not only in the structures, but also in the celebrations that come from these cultures. And one I want to put a little focus on here is the Yalda night from Iran, which goes back to their times before converting to Islam. Yalda night is something that's still practiced today in modern Iran and around Iran and within Iranian culture. And this is held on December 21st, roughly. And it's a night-long celebration where people stay up with their families, reading, playing games, having lots of foods and sweets, and generally having a really family-oriented time. And the main idea of this is that good and evil are representatives of light and dark. And so during the winter solstice, darkness and evil are at their height. And so to be inside with the family is to stay safe. To be out into the darkness is to put yourself at risk, because this is the time when evil is at its strongest. And so I really find this interesting, and I wonder how much this carries into the Indo-Europeanness, into Europe, and this understanding of winter as well as this idea of good versus evil. Obviously, this is something that I think also goes with Christianity, as Christianity came into Europe, into the Middle East. But then I think there's also something to say with Balder, and Balder being the god of light, but not really the god of sun, and dying by the blind brother Hother. So good and evil, again, coming together in some way, or ignorance and bliss, or whatever you want to analyze that as. But there's a lot to analyze, and obviously human beings have been doing this for a very long time, of sitting here observing the darker months and the lighter months, and thinking about them in the terms of just our humanity, our ethics. And so there's definitely something ingrained in us to observe these times of the year. And of course, Yalda night is not the only solstice celebration. There are many more that happen as well, including Yule. But Yule is debatably not held on the solstice. It was probably held first full moon after the new.
I agree with that. That point, hey, chill out. That to the point that it's just, the understanding and practice of these ceremonial times are just ingrained within us. You dig what I'm talking about? So if somebody was going to use something that that you already had against you, they would use one of your more innate wants, needs. And you dig what I'm talking about? And everybody been hearing about the so-called praise gene. You dig what I'm saying? What if it's not a gene? What if it's a muscle? I mean, of course, muscles are made from genes. Come on, Cosmo. But I'm saying, what if it's more like a bicep, tricep? You know what I mean? And just the more you work it, the stronger it gets. Just a different point of view.
New moon after the solstice. But regardless, this time of observing the darker time of the month and moving on past that is something that's ingrained into our humanity.
Hate YouTube ads? You need this Chrome extension. I feel like I just found a Google cheat code. This Chrome extension lets
So with that, I do want to kind of talk a little bit about what this means. Like, what exactly does this mean for us as people today? Obviously, there's the, good versus evil, as we talked with Yalda Knight. There's definitely that component. There's just the simple fact that the farmers, everyone revolved around the fields. Everyone's lives were more at risk from the loss of crops, were from the losses of winter. And so to have a night to celebrate it and to celebrate the return of the sun, the promise of spring coming, this is something that, obviously to these early people would have been very significant. But I have a theory, and this is my theory, I think. I don't know if anyone else has ever suggested this, but obviously ancestors are an important part of Yule celebrations, of winter celebrations. And I think that maybe the reason that there are some passage graves that have these sight lines with the winter solstice specifically, where the sun comes into the graves, where the sun goes into the tombs, is because in the ancient past, 3,000-4,000 years ago, the people believed that when the sun was at its lowest, when it was at the winter solstice, since the sun was entering its truest form of death and then the rebirth, is that that rebirthing sun had the ability to bring life into the departed. And so that warmth of the winter solstice sun was the promise of rebirth. And we know that from the early Celts, that rebirth was reincarnation was something they believed in. But also maybe to bring people back just for a night of celebration or for a time. And so it was believed that the warmth of the sun also brought back the dead. Maybe. Let me know down below what you think. But I think that, there's obviously a reason that they saw that this light
The solstice is, of course, the shortest day and the longest night. We refer to that BSIM. We look at
Together, we're making data centers the most sustainable industry in the world.
Schneider Electric's expertise is not only
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
Create a gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
Yeah. Create a gang. FOPE dis. For our people's ignorance. Salute Malachi Maccabee, Cosmon Cal, Bronze Yogi, Yare Ya. Create a gang. Peace to the goddesses. We gonna set the record straight. I know these clowns named folk, man, they a fucking joke. Naphtali tried to explain the Ark of Noah's boat. Malachi Maccabee exposed the whole shit as a hoax. She had the nerve to say the earth is 6,000 years old. And tried to use Gobekli Tepe for the Ark of Noah. But what you ought to know, your sources got burned like an arsenal. So pack it up and throw them scripts in the trash. Your God gets stoned to death for prophecies not coming to pass. Like America's supposed to get hit with the nuclear blast. 24 years later, we look back at you niggas and laugh. I should pick rocks and stone you niggas myself. Throw you in a lake of fire, watch your skin start to melt. Shawshan be the first to get blamed. When I heard the shots, look, left his people and ran. Damn. K. Judah, you feel to be a shooter. You not a teacher, you a tutor, hiding behind computers. Naphtali, you not ready for Mali. He exposed to go for wood from the Ark, come out of Cali. Long Beach, Naphtali better run a retreat. Your champion looking bad on these YouTube streets. When I wave in the white flag as a sign of defeat. Bow down like J. Who and kiss the boot on my feet, nigga. Your Messiah can't save shit. Where was the Messiah when we was chained to them slave ships? Praying to a God in return ain't say shit. The God of war got you niggas stuck in a slave pit. Talking about that's prophecy. More like propaganda from a false god democracy. FOP for our people's edification. You not edifying, but lying to the Israelite nation. Think you following God when you following Satan. Stiff-necked and stubborn like them goddamn Jamaicans. Come against Creator Gang, your doctrine's dying. When Mally cut Naphtali, she almost started crying. She ran to her husband and screamed, baby, I'm trying. That's what happens when you put a pussycat against a lion. Yeah, Creator Gang is undefeated. FOP is washed up. Y'all put y'all goddess on the front line and she got her head blown off. Create a gang is undefeated. We out of here. Create a gang is undefeated. I keep it real, pack to steal it for whoever want it. Clap, Judah be running laps when he get confronted. Got Devil Cosman and knock you off of 500. They hit the club, roll up a Judah dub, forever blunted. Contemplating on who we gonna take out next. Got Cosma, Cal, Malik, Mac can be the best. The 4 horsemen who understand the business. Contract killers won't hesitate to kill a witness. 21 bodies executed on my hit list. JJ trying to watch me, trying to take pictures. Yara working with woods and paint, a bunch of snitches. Peer pressure separate the real from the bitches. Niggas be gang until you start to bang bang. Let a nigga brains hang on everybody like dang. You thought it couldn't happen. Yara wouldn't smoke 9/11 Manhattan. Bullets in his breastplate, both lungs collapsing. Hands reaching in the air for the air he grasping. The flyer was made, Sila Shalom first captain. But the captain ran away just like if nothing happened. I'm a certified killer. Peel a nigga, cut him open and feed him his own liver. Graphic is how I paint the picture. Shoot shots like a pitcher. Split JJ like a swisher. Cut the head off of the lion's den and watch the rest of the body quiver. Core shots I deliver when it's crunch time on the trigger. Got 2 pair of eagles fly like seagulls when it's time. I scoot out, shoot out, air out Yara every time. Standing behind enemy lines, killing my enemies every time. Defend the faith like Muslim Sunni soldiers at a shrine. I facilitate thoughts beyond the thoughts of mankind. Create a gang is in the prime while you niggas get left behind. Create a gang is undefeated. Salute, Daryl Cosma, Cosma Cal, Malachi Maccabee, and the whole Create a gang. Nigga, we outside with it. All that huffing and puffing don't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing.
You step in the dojo.
Now, I want to keep this live going, but I gotta get out here and get into it real quick. I'm gonna probably come back tomorrow and do a live in the morning, man. But just to take the spookiness out of the, just not knowing, you know what I mean? And they use fear against us. You dig what I'm saying? And always remember, fear is the great blocker. It blocks out everything. So, with that being said, you dig what I'm saying? Cosmo gonna get up out of here, man. I'll get into the understanding of this more tomorrow with Owaspy. You dig what I'm talking about? Really break it down. But just to show you objectively, man, I wanted to bring that out. Just to take the fear out of what's going on. You dig what I'm talking about? So you ain't got to feel no way about if you practicing these holidays. Your ancient ancestors 20, 30,000 years ago celebrated these same ones. And with that being said, man, all I need you to do is breathe in, let that light in. You dig what I'm saying? Cause I'm Cosmo Cat, right? And I'm out, man.
Yeah.
yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you're feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air. Just that Japheth, that chow mein, that Papa Bull, that Tao mein, since sunset in the arc of Wayne. My brain moving like Tao Sang, so as above, it's so below. That up and that down thing, this flow is atmospheric. I call that a ground game. See, water is knowledge, so